Hey, what's up? Ryan Kohler here, CEO of Refer.io, and today I'm going to go through a quick masterclass and really kind of cool strategy session about a unique way to go about marketing your restaurant, your retail, your auto dealership, as well as recruiting and kind of collaborating these two together. And so we're going to jump right in and kind of walk through this, but this really is about kind of the convergence of talents and customer together. The recruiting side of your business and the customer acquisition and revenue generation side of your business, and kind of getting them to work together. And if you are an executive, CEO, COO, founder, whatever whatever, and say, well, recruiting isn't my thing and marketing's not my thing. We have people for that. I want you to pay attention here because this is the reason why this is such an untapped opportunity is because of the siloed nature of those two groups. And it really does take somebody at the top to drive this strategy forward. But the fact of the matter is, we've been sending job alerts for a long time, almost a decade. And currently we send about 100 million a month. And that's not about 40 million of those are for employer specific job alerts. And on average, we get about a 75% open rate. There's the potential with some of the stuff we're going to talk about today of a 50 to 250% increase in applicant flow. But most importantly, by collaborating marketing and recruiting together, there's potential that this will more than pay for itself. But here, let's talk about what some of the challenges are. I mean, clearly there's a perfect storm right now when it comes to retail, restaurants, auto, you name it. Like, costs are going up. You've got high turnover from a team standpoint. You've got rising costs of acquiring customers, of marketing, of supplies, etc. And then you've got a challenge with your hiring managers, your location managers, your general managers, whoever it is, department managers that have other stuff to do, and a lot more. We may be getting more applicants, but not more qualified candidates. AI is just slamming us with garbage applications that are not helping us out. Now, your marketing team is missing out on some amazing opportunities. While their costs are going up and competition's getting more fierce, job seekers are an overlooked target audience. And there's a lot of different reasons for it. But the fact of the matter is there's a ton of research that says these job seekers, the people applying for your jobs today, the people who have applied in the last 3 to 5 years, are wildly valuable from a marketing standpoint. But there's some organizational barriers in them getting access to it, in them even understanding that it has potential or being able to market to them. And what it takes for marketing to kind of start doing what we're talking about is to get access to the applicant tracking data. And I'm going to talk about how this is, because I wouldn't just give them access to it. You wanted this to be a collaborative effort between them and HR. Number 2 is content creation, how to develop targeted offers for job seekers. And then finally, what kind of metrics you want to track. Now, on the flip side, we have a recruiting challenge, right? You might have corporate recruiting that focuses on those higher level corporate jobs and management roles, etc., but with little visibility or oversight or control over those location jobs. Location managers are burdened with everything else that they have going on. They don't have the time to actually nor really understand how it works to drive applicant flow using job boards, using employee referrals, etc. And then you have this mindset part on, right? Like, it's marketing's job to do marketing, it's our job to do HR, and we're not really, cross-pollinating. But the fact of the matter is 60 to 80% of all applicants actually welcome special offers after they apply, but HR would never think of doing that because they're not a marketing function, and marketing doesn't have access to do it because they don't have access to the applicant records. The fact of the matter is there's also huge amount of potential in the communication that HR sends. You see, throughout any given month, your HR team is sending a significant amount of communication via email, via text message, etc., out to job seekers. But those job seekers are also customers, both existing customers and future customers. But those communication, those emails, are very transactional in nature. They're just about what they want. Meaning, hey, thank you for applying, don't contact us. Hey, we need you to go schedule a time for an interview or do a video interview, or a rejection email, thanks but no thanks, sorry, we're going in a different direction. And job alerts, if you send them at all, are probably pretty boring and just ongoing job openings. All of these types of communication have huge potential to cross-pollinate with information that brings people in to be potential customers and drives them into your locations or your store. but it just isn't happening. Now, when it comes to actual job ads, though, we also have this drop in effectiveness. Sorry, it's cut off here, but as each week passes that a job ad is live on the job boards, it becomes less and less effective. The problem, of course, is if you go look at your average job ads, you're probably going to see that those jobs have been open for months or even a year. Those jobs, the managers are optimizing for efficiency. And when they do that, that means they copy the same ad that they've ran before, they post it for a long period of time, and they just leave it open, and they're hiring throughout that time, but they're leaving that job there getting stale. And that's the best way to think about it. It's going old, stale, and moldy. Even worse is when you have multiple locations with the same job and they copy each other. Now we've got the same boring ad live for long periods of time, and its effectiveness drops. This is because search rankings are based off of relevance, how new a job is, and number two, the majority of job seeker traffic at the job boards comes from them sending out job alerts. Those job alerts are tagged or targeted based off of new jobs, and so when your managers leave that job open for a year or even months at a time, it doesn't go out in those results. So how do we actually solve for this? Well, step number one, we need to cycle our job postings. And 7 days is probably too aggressive, but at least every 2 to 3 or 4 weeks, we need to be rotating our job openings with a new ad, not just closing an opening, but an actual new copy of ad. Number two, we need location-specific content. Even though we might hire for the same teller job or the same front cashier job or something like that in 5 different locations, we need separate job ads for each location that is based off the location that will give us more variation of content. And then finally, we can't just post boring job descriptions. Just like you wouldn't post boring marketing content, you need those job descriptions or the job ads to actually be advertisements, to actually explain why you're a great place to work and why somebody should want to come work for you. And unfortunately, none of that's in the wheelhouse of HR or your location manager. They're just not going to ever be good at that content. Now, that said, we also have a huge database in your applicant tracking system with 3 to 5 years of past applicants that are just sitting. Application emails achieve 85+% open rates both during the process, but also going back to them. And they have high conversion rates to bring back into not just the hiring process, but to bring them into your location. So we came up with this really creative strategy where we would mix our job alert newsletters with marketing content. The assumption here being that in a talent pool of, say, 40,000 job seekers who've applied in the last 3 to 5 years that you're sending alerts to, there's a huge percentage of those that are current customers that you could bring back in, and another group that have never been customers that you could bring in for the first time. And so we like to suggest that job alert and the content inside of your confirmation email, your follow-up emails, your rejection emails, but especially the job alert, should be 50% about the job, 30% about marketing, special offers, promotions, and 20% about why you're a great place to work. And depending on the email, that might shift a little bit, but definitely when it comes to job alerts, this is the case. Now, this is where we get to the problem. The problem is HR or marketing are not going to be able to tackle this on their own. They need to work together from a collaborative standpoint. And that means somebody's going to have to be the boss, the tiebreaker, the one that drives this forward. We suggest that this has to be executive sponsorship. That means somebody at the executive team has to be driving and kind of hitting the drumbeat forward. You have to cast a vision to inspire the team about the collaborative potential. You need to remove the barriers and obstacles so that HR and marketing work together. We need to assign ownership with clear responsibilities for getting more subscribers, creating great content, creating a good call to action. We need to make sure that they share credit, that the metrics are about the project as a whole, not them dividing up who gets to claim credit. And then most importantly, celebrate success to drive iteration and improvement. Here's how we suggest you roll this out. Number one would be an assessment. Evaluate the current systems, see what your past 3 to 5 years worth of applicants looks like. Do you have the ability to export them? See if you're sending them job alerts. Look at what type of confirmation emails and what type of engagement emails you've been sending and how good is the content. Number two, come up with a launch campaign to actually start changing the content you're sending out with your existing applicants, to change the content from the job ads so we get more applicants coming in, and then most importantly, to build a set of content that is both about our culture and values and work environment, as well as offers and about our products or services to bring people in for our job alerts. Then comes integration. Can we actually connect these systems together and get it to work on its own, on autopilot, to get it to drive forward? And then finally, how do we measure and optimize and keep improving? This means you're going to have to get your marketing team and your HR team together to integrate ATS and email platforms and analytics tools to make this work and make it work successfully. Now, at this point, you might be asking, well, that sounds great, but that sounds like a lot of work. And so I figured I'd take a minute and explain exactly how Refer.io can help you with this. So we actually manage the job alert email blasting for over 9,000 companies. Like I said, we send over 40 million emails a month for employer only, and then we send another 50 million to our subscribers that we send job alert and different information to. And you can see from here what these open rates look like and the sheer number of subscribers and emails we're sending. So the very first thing that we can do is help you get subscribers. So we have a little widget. You can see the sign up for job alerts here. We have one that we can embed on pretty much any career site, any applicant tracking system, to allow job seekers to come in, as well as throughout your website, to allow them to sign up to job alerts. This kind of gets the engine going. But we also have the ability to take an export from your ATS system or from your career site or wherever your applicant data is stored and import it into a newsletter platform. At this point, we have that ability to import it all in and build out your subscriber base. This includes not just name and email, but also the type of job they're looking for, their location, gives us a little bit better targeting for the future. Next up, we have a content management and creation system. We can actually help you create content for your job alert newsletter, help your team create it, or just give your marketing team access where they can go and load it. Now, we're not sending one email newsletter to everybody. We're creating a bank of content and then grabbing one piece of each type at random to load in and send, so that we send one newsletter to one person. This is how we get the open rates that we get. This is why we can get 60, 70, even 80% open rates when your marketing team is struggling with 20 or 30%. It's this platform that allows us to mix up content and create a one-off newsletter on the fly for each person, including the active jobs that you have that they may be a fit for. Next up, we actually have analytics, so we can track subscribers and how active they are and how many new ones you're getting, emails delivered, open rates, all that great kind of stuff. And then finally, and most importantly, we build out an AI content engine for your organization to use. That means we come in and do a deep dive into all the information about your company, about your jobs, about your culture, your values, about what people are saying about you online. We build a knowledge base and a voice model so that we can write like you, along with some great templates that will work for job ads. Then we gather location-specific content about each location, about each manager, each department, in order to build out some unique content for each of the locations. And at that point, we then use our AI models to build multiple location job ads for each job in each location, build out all those templates that you can put into your ATS system so that the managers don't have to do all this heavy lifting of writing all the content, and the HR person doesn't have to do all the heavy lifting, but so that there's enough variations and variety that they can pick from and rotate those ads. This one thing, not money spent on job boards, but creativity and variation of new content, dramatically improves applicant flow, which adds more people to your job alert newsletter, which gives us more potential to impact them. So what are the options to actually do the next steps? Well, number one, we can give you access to our platform, especially if your team's already using it on the HR side, to be able to go implement for yourself. We'll give you training, teach your marketing team how to go in and create content and roll out the newsletter. Or number two, we'll guide you through it, call it done with you, where we'll actually work with your team and help them to create AI models and then use those AI models to write their own content. And then finally, number three, full service, we'll actually build out all the content, draft it all, and you just have to approve it. If you would like to learn more about this, I would love to talk to you about it. You can hit me up at heyryan@refer.io. Again, that's HEYRYAN at refer.io. Otherwise, we'll talk to you later.